The way we find and consume information is rapidly changing with the growth of artificial intelligence. You've almost certainly heard of AI, and you may have used it before or developed strong opinions regarding its use. Whether you love it, hate it, or fall somewhere in between, it is important to understand how it works and the issues surrounding it, so that you can make informed decisions about AI in your personal and academic life. So what is AI? AI is a field of study focused on enabling machines to mimic human thought, including problem solving and learning. AI is a broad category that is made up of subsets of increasingly complex technologies, including machine learning, deep learning, and generative AI. Artificial intelligence, in its broadest sense, emulates human behavior. It can learn, make decisions, recognize patterns, and solve complex problems. This technology is exemplified in things like algorithm-driven ride-sharing apps such as Uber or Lyft. Machine learning is a subset of AI that is trained on datasets in order to make more accurate predictions. Email spam filtering features may use machine learning technology. Deep learning, a subset of machine learning, takes things a step further by using neural networks which mimic human brain signals. These enable them to process data and perform analysis. This type of technology is used in face and speech recognition software. Finally, we have generative AI. Gen AI is a subset of deep learning that uses those large datasets and neural networks to generate new content. Generative AI is often what we mean when we refer simply to AI. ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, and Google Gemini are all examples of generative AI tools. But how do they actually work? When we input a prompt into a tool like ChatGPT, complex math computations are performed based on that input to determine what words are most likely to come next in a sequence. This content generation is based on data that the generative AI tool has been trained with, as well as complex algorithms that instruct the generative AI on how to operate. If I asked you to finish the phrase, "We go together like peanut butter and blank," you would probably say jelly, because that is a word you've heard said in this phrase before. Generative AI works the same way, drawing on the data it has been trained with to come up with quote-unquote new content. Like any new technology, generative AI has its problems and limitations. It is important to recognize these issues and continually interrogate generative AI's place in our personal, academic, and work life. Some of the primary concerns related to generative AI today include environmental impact, data privacy, academic integrity, and transparency. Generative AI requires large data centers to function. These data centers run on fossil fuels which release greenhouse gases as they burn. A data center full of servers running on fossil fuel-powered electricity gets really hot. So these centers also use massive amounts of water in order to remain cool. This water use creates multiple issues. First, water being used by data centers is water that is diverted away from other uses such as drinking water for the local community. AI data centers also create electronic waste containing substances like mercury and lead, which may lead to pollution of surrounding water sources. Generative AI also created new concerns when it comes to data privacy. There are currently no privacy laws controlling how data is collected and used by generative AI in the US. Instead, discussions of these permissions have typically defaulted to copyright law. But this does not address privacy issues related to non-copyrightable material. Much of the concern around generative AI and data privacy also has to do with how these AI tools are trained. Generative AI systems scrape the internet for data to use, and there's no regulation as to whose data that is. Some generative AI tools may even remember and use any data you provide as part of your input. It's important to read the terms of use for any AI tools you use, and always be cautious about entering personal information into an AI tool, even if they claim not to save such data. While generative AI may have some positive uses, there are still major issues when it comes to using AI in an academic setting. Some of the biggest concerns related to academic integrity and AI are plagiarism, hallucinations and bias, and copyright violations. While using AI-generated content and passing it off as your own isn't technically plagiarism because you aren't using a person's work, it still definitely violates academic integrity. Furthermore, because AI is trained using the work of human creators, AI-generated material may inadvertently plagiarize those authors, whose work is oftentimes copyright protected as well. Generative AI tools may also experience hallucinations, which are what we call it when an AI tool generates content that is not factual. We see this often when an AI tool is asked to generate things like citations. Another major issue when it comes to AI is transparency. This concern goes beyond those related to data privacy and extends to things like how forthcoming proponents of generative AI are about its capabilities and limitations. A 2025 article in the Journal of Marketing discusses current research that suggests that people with a better understanding of AI and its impacts are less likely to use AI products. The article advises that AI marketing efforts should shift focus to less informed consumers and avoid educating consumers about how AI works. This research reveals the incentive AI companies have to keep you uninformed about how their products work and how they impact the world at large. If the creators of these generative AI tools are not transparent about their product, it becomes our responsibility as consumers to educate ourselves in order to make decisions about our own AI use. Beyond ethical considerations, there are other concerns when it comes to AI. A 2025 study from MIT found that the use of tools like ChatGPT can lead to decreased brain connectivity, noting that the convenience of these tools came at a cognitive cost to users. When participants in the study used generative AI tools to help them write an essay, they saved time and experienced less difficulty. However, these participants were less inclined to evaluate the tool's output and had difficulty recalling the information from their own essay. The results of this study suggest that the use of AI tools during the learning process inhibits the actual process of learning. Additionally, participants who used no tools not only exhibited higher brain activity, but also reported higher satisfaction with their work. It's also important to note that this research only explores more immediate effects of generative AI use. We do not yet know what kind of long-term cognitive effects generative AI may have on users. Generative AI has continued to become more and more commonplace since its introduction. As you continue to encounter generative AI tools and materials created with Gen AI in your personal, academic, and professional life, it's important for you to take the time to reflect on your own relationship with this technology. Continue to ask questions about how generative AI works and how it impacts the world at large. Regardless of whether or how you choose to use generative AI, your decisions should be thoughtful and well-informed. Looking for assistance from a real person rather than a robot? You can schedule a research appointment with one of our librarians for help at any point in your research process.